All right, everyone, here we go with the April 2026 thank you reading. I do these every month. There's a whole playlist of these, way at the bottom of the home page of the channel, but there's a whole playlist of these. I thank anybody for giving me a nickel for anything I do around here. It is much appreciated. I've got a pre-shuffle here, a little bit. I've got 3 swords and 8 cups. This energy's been coming up a lot. Walking away from 3 swords. I've seen it in 2 extendeds now, which, we can talk about the extendeds here because, it's part of giving me a nickel for anything I do around here. So that's it. Underneath that is a high priestess. I'm not going to talk about the higher power that's in play. There definitely is. You're being guided somewhere. You're probably getting, this is just surface energy, but these are powerful energies. You're probably getting some kind of sign. I see the Chariot and the hidden energy. And then the 3 of Pentacles. If you look for it, I don't think you'll find it, the 10 of Wands. It'll be difficult to see. But I do think, I want to say something righteous, like you're being led to the promised land or something like that. But that's the way it feels. It's not what's going on. You're being led to the promised land, right? No, it's not some kind of cult or anything here. I got you. We're not going to lay down and drink this medicine. It's none of that. It's just, it feels very good. You're being led away from this for a reason. The universe, almost like the fickle old gal universe, has said enough is enough here. Okay, of that. Of whatever it is, it may not be because of the hidden energy. For some of you, for all of you, the Chariot is hidden. You're actually moving forward, even if you think you might be in a position where you're sitting around going, my life is going nowhere, I'm spinning my wheels. You're actually not spinning your wheels, you're actually moving. You just can't tell, okay? So that's what I mean by the Chariot is hidden. The movement itself is hidden. So you're not wasting time, you're not spinning your wheels, shit's happening underneath the surface. However, I will say that for a few of you, you don't know exactly what this 3 swords is. It itself is hidden as well. Okay? And for a few of you, the High Priestess is multiple layers. All right, so let's shuffle the deck. Let's go. Let's see where we go. Let's pull 3 cards and a bottom card here. I'll clarify some shit, of course. It's a general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here or you found Steve's Love Tarot, you're here for a reason. Although I don't know about the title bringing you in here for a thank you reading, right? These readings are to thank you for anything, anybody's giving me a nickel for anything I do around here. Donations, extendeds, whatever. Right? It is much appreciated. It's timeless. There's a whole playlist of these. I can't, we talked a little about the economics of energy. Energy is very economical. Usually when you watch a horoscope, for example, Venus is trining this or Saturn's opposing that or whatever. You're reading it on a Thursday. It's your Thursday horoscope. The energies are setting up. When it happens for you, it depends on where you are on your timeline. I like to explain it to people like Thanksgiving dinner, right? My grandmother used to have, Thanksgiving begins a couple of days before it. My grandmother used to have trays of food in her fridge and casserole dishes in her fridge that were ready to go they were pre-prepared and then ready to go in the oven, right? So that's kind of the way the energy works. It's pre-prepared on the day you read the horoscope or get the reading about it. And for some of you, it goes right in the oven right away. And for others of you, it'll go in later down the road. Either way, the energy is set up. The setup is it's in the fridge, ready to go in the oven. And other energies around you, decisions you've made, things going on like that have to set up properly for that energy to flow through to you. Okay? So keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind when you're watching a horoscope or a tarot reading or whatever it is you do. All right? Let's see where we go. 3 cards and a bottom card. You got some hidden chariot. I love the hidden chariot. I actually do. I love that too. That's justice. It's been coming up a lot. Didn't we have a reading recently with 2 justice cards in it, right? It's freaking nice. It's nice energy. The 2 of Wands. You finally get to do something very soon. I think very soon. It's the 2 of Wands. Pretty soon. Can we put it that way? I just explained the economical nature of energy. Okay, so keep that in mind. What I'm doing right now is I'm preparing your tray and putting it in the fridge. The energies around you need to set up just right for it to go in the oven. But pretty soon, you're going to be able to do something you've wanted to do for a long time. Okay? Now, this can play out a lot of ways. People tend to jump to the greatest thing ever. Oh, my God, I want to climb Mount Everest. Yeah, maybe. You could be severely constipated and have been wanting to go for a long time, and very soon you're going to go. It could, honestly, it could play out. I'm just reading energy here, so try not to read too much into it, but it feels bigger than that, okay? It feels bigger than that piece of shit. At the end of the day here, you're going to get to make plans to do something, actually able to make the plans to do something you've wanted to do for a while. That's crossing the center card I pull. Let's see where we go. Does it Knight of Wands? It's actually not a bad analogy. It could play out that way. Astrologers in particular get blamed for all kinds of things. It says I'm going to hear from them today. Well, wait a minute. Did it say you're going to hear from them today? Or did it say you're going to hear from somebody you've been waiting to hear from today? Because you might be waiting to get your lawnmower back from your neighbor, and if they bring it over, that horoscope came true. It's just the way it is. We don't control the energies, just how we react to them. Try not to overreact when you get a reading of any kind. Page of Wands, Knight of Wands, you're picking up a theme. Queen of Wands, you're picking up a theme. Justice, Two of Wands. I'm trying to help you pick up a theme. All right, these are red, center, left, right. Justice is crossing the Page of Wands. You're coming into a period very soon. Again, I say very soon, where you're not going to take life as seriously. The energy is just there for you to lighten up a little bit. Okay? Now, this can play out a lot of ways, this type of energy. I'm giving it to you in the fun way. Your inner child comes out. You're laid back. You're easygoing. Whatever, man. It's cool. That kind of a thing. All right? A little bit of that. But it can also play out as maybe you've been panicking about something or overreacting to something. Anything you've been overreacting about. Oh, this is a big deal. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be horrible. I don't know. A place you're going, a thing you're doing. I have no idea. Nervous about something, whatever it is, it ends up being fine. And then the energy lightens in an equal and opposite reaction. So as much as you've been worried about something, it's tough to explain, but the laws of physics apply. Equal and opposite reaction. So as much as you've been worried about something, that's how much the energy lightens when you find out that it's no big deal or it happens. Okay? All of a sudden you got a new lease on life. If you've been moping around the house, I can't poo, moping around the house, and then you finally go, bam, all of a sudden the opposite of moping happens. All of a sudden you're my party girl, you're footloose and fancy free, going around doing whatever, buying your friends drinks, you're having a great time. It's very much a manic depressive energy. So whatever you've been depressive about is about to, and that has pushed you back. Maybe that Three of Swords we talked about, which is why that came up in the pre-shuffle. But whatever you've been, pushed back or depressed about, you have an equal and opposite reaction in the other direction very soon. It happens very soon. And it might be a little bit of, I didn't know what was under that. I wanted to look. It might be a bit of, with the Queen of Cups there, it might be a little bit of a much. You might be a little too free-flowy with the energy and whatever. You might come across as a little freaky-deaky to people, a little weird, right? You might. No idea, you might come across a little like that. When I see this card, sometimes I get my mother's friend, Joyce. They were friends when I was a kid, right? And, my parents were kind of hippies, and Joyce was a hippie. Joyce was freaky. She had embroidery on her jeans and all kinds of, she was all hippy-dippy and stuff. I just found her energy a little too much. In other words, I don't think she could control it. She was a very nice lady, but there wasn't anything fake about it. I just don't think she had the reins on it. So she came across a little freaky-deaky, a little weird, a little bit. I think her husband even called her his freaky old lady. Actually, I think he did. I actually think that's the case, if I'm to remember correctly. That being said, be careful about that. You may not, the euphoria of this energy in the opposite direction, you may not be able to control it. Me telling you that will help you control it a little bit. All right? All right. Let's see where we go. Underneath that, by the way, just for fun, see the Two of Wands? See the freaky deaky, I can't control it, I'm so fucking happy? Three of Wands. You're going somewhere. You're going places, kid. Right, it's a bit of that. All right, let's clarify some stuff. It's a very common energy, but I wanted to make sure I explain it. Okay? And especially that Queen of Cups. And I that's why I dug a little deeper. I wanted to see if there was something like that in there. There is. You know, again, people won't think you're mean or an idiot or anything like that, but they might think you're a little euphoric. They might think you're on something, right? How much Red Bull did you drink today, man? They might say something like that to you. It is what it is, all right? So try to rein that in a little bit. But yeah, things about to lighten up. Things about to get a lot lighter for you, a lot more buoyant. It's very nice. Let's pull on the Page of Wands. Let's go. It's a mild energy of abundance with the Six of Pentacles here, randomly at the bottom. Okay, let's shuffle. Page of Wands, my party girl. A lot of wands here. Even 3 wands underneath that Queen of Cups, right? Justice, 2 wands, Queen of Cups, 3 wands, Knight of Wands, Page of Wands, Queen of Wands. Fucking hell. What's up with you? Right? Now, they are kind of magic wands in a way. All right, let's see where we go. Page of Wands, why is it here? Talk to me. It's nice. Ah, yes. Good old Joyce. Party! That's what she used to say all the time. Let's party! Oh, God. She's kind of my model for this, too, in a little bit of a way. My party girl. A little bit. A little bit. You might be like, well, Steve, you said she was married. Hey, I said my parents were hippies, right? Everybody got a piece of Joyce, all right? I'll tell you, I'll just be honest with you. They were swapping back and forth in that generation. I talked a little bit about the Gen X generation in a recent extended, but the baby boomers were the generation. The reason Gen X ended up being the latchkey kids and stuff was we had the highest parent divorce rate still in history. The baby boomers, man, with the whole divorcing thing, they were a generation that was not willing to sacrifice happiness for appearances. Okay, and so it was a lot of times it was a very selfish. They got very selfish toward the end of the 70s and stuff like that. You know, the kids were just sort of in the way, kind of a thing. You know, so they were left to fend for themselves. That's my generation. That's Gen X. But yeah, the baby boomers got divorced like motherfuckers. They weren't willing to sacrifice happiness for anything. You know, well, very high divorce rate. Page of Wands. Let's see where we go. If you're an energy reader, you study generations because it's important. You know? So if you are someone who fancies themselves intuitive, you like to pull cards, you like to do all this kind of stuff, you got to study the generations that are around and the differences between them so you can give proper reads, right? If you're reading for a Gen Z person, it's much different than reading for a Gen X person, right? Definitely. Those are 2 very different people. I'm going to tell you right now. All right? I didn't get a trophy for nothing. Nobody even ever told me that I did good at anything. I don't even think my dad ever said you play guitar real good. I'm proud of you. I never heard those, not one time. I mean, nothing. I got no praise. So, you know, that's it. So you got to understand the differences between them for sure. It's important. And why each one happened. People ask me to help them. Steve, I pull cards, help me. That's something you should know at the very least. If you don't want to study purely, you know, all kinds of human nature stuff. Wheel of Fortune, crossing this here. Things about to change 180 degrees for you. Look, it just keeps coming up over and over and over and over again. Things about to change 180 fucking degrees. What's on top here? All right. 5 of Wands. What's that here? The Sun. We go, again, I'm being corrected a little bit. It's not quite 180 degrees. It's about 240 degrees, which is roughly how much an owl can turn his head. You know, it's kind of a thing like that. About 240, 260 degrees kind of a thing around. It's a little more. It's like a recoil kind of a thing. So as much as you were down, it does come back around in an equal and opposite reaction, but it shoots past it a little bit. So yeah, I understand a lot more why that Queen of Cups is there, why Joyce's energy is coming in here, right? My mom's friend, my mom's freaky old lady friend. All right, cool. Well, good for you. After a period of this. So if you're wondering, well, when's this going to happen, Steve? You need to have a period of this. Okay, you might be in it now. I don't know. This is anxiety, worry. I have no idea. This is the kind of energy where you lose your job, right? Your job goes away and you go home and you're up all night pacing around. And then out of nowhere, there's a last minute save. They call you back and go, well, we got one more project going. Why don't you come in? We want to put you on this team. And then the next day, you find out you were worried for nothing and you still got a job. It's that kind of energy. I'm just trying to give you some examples. All right, I don't know how it's going to play out for you, but this is a very good energy. There's no doubt about it. In spite of the Three of Swords this reading started with, which when I shuffled for the pre-shuffle, I thought, my God, thank you reading that opens with a Three of Swords. Thanks, universe. I got to give them donations now. It's like, what the hell? But no, this is a very, very, very good energy. It's terrific. So whatever, you've got to be in this. This is like the wick energy for it. This lights the wick. It's a 9 swords. I think part of the euphoria on the backside, the sun, the euphoria, the woohoo, the Queen of Cups kind of energy that comes up, the flowy energy, the happiness, or the opposite of this, part of it is in realizing that you were worried about nothing the whole time. Part of it, and that in turn, that energy sticks, and it kind of gives you a new lease on life from there. You start dealing with problems differently because of this energy. In the future, you don't get in 9 swords, worried about nonsense. You take as much, it's sort of like what I said in a recent extended when I talked about Generation X. I don't talk about anything in these readings that isn't part of the energy, all right? I don't. I'm not just spouting off facts for you. I am telling you things that are important for you to know as far as the reading goes. It's up to you to do the lateral thinking, right? So I had somebody in that extended that couldn't figure out why I had to talk about why you spent a minute while you were shuffling talking about Generation X. I don't fucking care. I'm a millennial. Yeah. Hello. Missing the point. Point. Way over there. Hello. It was about the word whatever. Whatever. Que sera, sera. We are the que sera, sera generation. Okay? You sort of get in that vibe. Whether you're a millennial, a Gen Z, I don't fucking care. It doesn't fucking matter. You get in that kind of whatever vibe. All right? And there's a reason that Gen X was in that. It's because we thought the world was going to end on the next day. We had the threat of nuclear holocaust over our fucking heads, continually. Well, technically speaking, it's back even stronger now than it was in 1984. The doomsday clock's closer to midnight than it was then. So, but the problem is you got 2 generations, Gen X and Gen Z and the millennials, who have never had to deal with that. So, I don't know. That could be this. It could be you start watching the news, which I tell you not to do as much as little, or do as little as possible. It could be that. But whatever it is, you take on a new lease for life. Something causes you to snap. And you go, you know what? I'm sick of worrying about shit. Whatever. And that's sort of what happened with my generation. We got so pumped in our head with this whole, the world could end tomorrow, the world could end tomorrow. We just said, fuck it, man, who cares? Fine, the world could end tomorrow. Fuck it all. Whatever, right? And then we went on with our lives and we had a good time. We kind of did. It is what it is. You have a snapping point here. It's some sort of point where you realize you're worried about nothing. You're worried about nonsense. Fuck it. Right? And it's nice. It creates this environment. It opens the floodgates to this energy, though, which you might not be able to control. Okay? So it plays out differently for all of you. But the net result, one of the reasons that, because this is not an equal and opposite reaction, right? This is a weak energy, the 5 of Wands, and this is the sun. It's a very powerful energy on the positive side. The reason it's not equal and opposite is because of the added energy of you getting sort of a Gen X whatever attitude towards it. Again, you change the way you live your life from this moment on. whenever this moment happens. And we talked about the economy of energy. But you change how you live your life from this moment on. You're not going to get in 9 swords again. I'm not going to worry about stupid shit. Right? There you go. That's plain and simple. That's it. You know? It's nice. It's a good attitude to have. You know? It is what it is. Generational studies is fun. It's something you can learn a lot about why the world is the way it is and why people are the way they are. My generation screwed up with the kids we raised because we were left alone and never talked about anything, and then we were the helicopter parents. We gave too much attention to the fucking kids. They got too coddled, you know. It was a problem. We went, again, equal and opposite reaction, and we went way too far in the other direction. Should have just found something down the middle, you know. But at the end of the day here, you get kind of a Gen X attitude. Gen Xers take care of themselves. They do things on their own. They don't look for recognition. They don't give a fuck about how many likes they have or followers they have. Don't fucking care. Doesn't matter. You know? They're quiet doers behind the scenes, running companies, the country, all of it. They really are. Very self-sufficient problem solvers. All right, here we go. Those are all facts. I'm sure you can research it and see that. Anyway, let's see where we go. 2 swords crossing the Knight of Wands here. Why is that? 2 cups. You're picking up a theme. Why is that here? And the 9 of cups. You bring people to you fast. You're a fast manifester. You wish for it, it shows up. And it's almost exactly what you want in this energy. All right? That is you being a very powerful witch, so to speak, and not knowing how to control it. All right? It's a little bit of that. You know, it's in bewitched speak, somebody gave you Endora's powers, right? And you're just using them like fucking crazy. You don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You know? I mean, it's crazy, you know. It's a little bit of that. It is a little bit. It's very nice. Let's pull on the Queen of Wands now. This is what I've been waiting for. Let's take a look at this. I think this makes you attractive. It does, right? I mean, a little bit. Attractive in the sense of people have confidence in you. When you're calm in the face of, you know, when you have a new lease on life and you're not always in this state, when you're calm in the face of problems and you're calmly solving a problem rather than panicking about it, it instills confidence in the people around you, right? I mean, it really does. There's something about this energy here that just everybody around you will sort of feel, will sort of fall in line with what you're doing. You may end up being the leader here is what I'm saying, right? Queen of Wands, why is it here? Page of Wands. But again, to that person who's probably watching, who was like, well, I don't know why you do this, or I don't know why you do that. I'm not telling you anything, ever. A story. I don't care if I make a crack about a dick chakra. It is part of the reading. You have my undivided attention. In fact, I'm not even here. A part of me is here pulling this reading energetically. So keep that in mind, okay? Everything matters. You've got to lateral think. This is not Rainbow Unicorn Tarot where it's a bunch of nonsense, okay? You got to think. We talk about psychology here. We talk about generations and the difference between them and human nature. It's important. Page of Wands, right there. Right there, Page of Wands. Again, it's a very, I'm going to call it a devil-may-care attitude, but it's very appealing to people around you. They need it. You're probably getting in this energy because the people around you need it as much as you do, and somebody's got to be the leader. Okay? You know, I'm already in this. I've already got shit tons of friends calling me, looking for me. Some people just want to come over and hang out because they feel better. Okay? I mean, it is what it is. It's just the nature of my energy. You're going to get a little bit of that. And you might be like, why is everybody so clingy? They're not clingy. They're not. They're just looking for somebody to follow more than anything else. Looking for a sign, and you seem to have it. Okay? What's on top? The 7 swords. And why is that here? The Queen of Cups. What's the bridge? That's my desert queen, by the way. And the King of Cups. The King of Cups We'll talk about these in a minute. The King of Cups is bookending, or, you know, the bridging energy of the Queen of Wands here. It's sort of a warning because of where it fell. It's kind of a warning to again, try to control that. This is a controlled energy of that in this aspect, so be careful. Otherwise, people will suck your energy dry. They will suck you dry. Okay, they really will. All right, like energy vampires. They will want to feed off you. Be careful. I know this energy well. Okay, you will end up, if I'm not careful and put up blocks and things like that, I will end up in the hospital. It's happened to me twice in my life when I let too much energy feed, if you will. People will want to feed. All right, be careful about that. All right. And anyway, 7 swords. Why is the Queen of Wands here? The 7 swords. And why is the 7 swords here? The Desert Queen, the Queen of Cups. It's just backing up what I said. It's not really the Desert Queen. It's the Queen of Cups again, right? But the cup will get dry. If you're not true to yourself, if you're allowing tons of people in or whatever, again, if you don't sneak away from this is actually a good 7 swords. If you don't sneak away from this energy a little bit, you will end up the Desert Queen. She will get sucked dry. This girl right here will look like she's beautiful on the card. Nice looking chick. But by the time the life is sucked out of it here, right? She'll look like a 200-year-old wood witch. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of that. All right. Let's see what else. Let's see what else the universe wants to tell you. Let me grab the little animal deck. Let's go. Let's go. 1 card and a crossing card. Again, it's a thank you reading. I appreciate anybody that's giving me a nickel for anything I do around here. All right. It's not an easy time to be pulling readings, you know. I mean, I was never Rainbow Unicorn Tarot, but I'm certainly not going to be in these energies. There's a lot of big deal things going on. We're on a historic moment. So some people's energy, if you're higher vibration, you're being prepared to be a leader, to help people out, you know. It's a little bit of that. Let's see where we go. You might have a Terminator come back in time and try to kill you. You're all becoming a bit of Sarah Connor, you know, where she was a leader kind of a thing and a fighter. We need to get rid of her, you know, that kind of a thing. They come back from the future, you know. It wouldn't surprise me. With the way AI is going, we're getting damn close to Terminators, let me tell you. It's about to come true. A lot of, I remember when RoboCop came out, the movie RoboCop. You know, every kid at school saw it. They had these little ads in the movie and stuff like that. And I remember everybody in the theater laughing. You know, like, oh, that's funny. That'll never happen. And they were like pharmaceutical ads, right? We see these fucking horrifying pharmaceutical ads all the time now, don't we? They're everywhere. But back then, when that movie came out, everyone thought it was funny. It was a joke. Oh, that's not going to happen. That'll never happen. That's funny. Oh, advertising of dangerous drugs for talk to your doctor. That's hilarious. You know, now it's commonplace, isn't it? All right, we have to be careful. Very careful. Science fiction is a funny way of coming true. All right, here we go. The Sun. Final message to you. 1 card and a crossing card. 2 of Pentacles. And the Sun. A time of frustration is ending for you. A time of massive transformation. I don't want you to discount. I may have made some jokes in this reading, and I may, you know, joke around about, you know, when this and that happened or whatever. Do not discount this energy. That is a big butterfly on a small card. All right. You're coming into an energy where you'll intuitively know what to do. That is attractive to people. It is a Gen X type energy. It is. We're the ones who know what to do. We're the ones who can help. We're the ones who don't panic when there's a crisis, and we get down and we solve the problems and we go, okay, let's do this, and this. Because we had to do all that for ourselves when we were kids. We had to figure it out. I taught myself how to do my first taxes I ever did. Nobody even showed me. Nobody even, you know, okay, so I take this thing and I just figured it out. You know, that kind of a thing. We figure it out. You're able to figure things out. You're able to problem solve. You're able to know instinctively, intuitively, on a high level, what to do. It's very clear from the energy. It's just a repeat energy, but I like the energy coming off this Two of Pentacles. You know exactly which one's green, don't you? The moment you look at this, boom, which one's green? The one on the right. That's how fast you'll know what to do. It'll be like that. You'll probably snap better than me, right? There you go. You'll know exactly what to do. Gen Xers, terrible snappers. We're terrible snappers. That's what we can't do. We can't do that. Okay. Anyway, you'll know exactly what to do. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. I've done my best for you. All right. I appreciate anybody giving me a nickel for anything I do around here, extendeds. I know the readings have been tough lately. These are tough energies, big boy, big girl energies. I'm not trying to be a douche. I'm not trying to be a dick. But it's my job to offer you a point of view, right? I mean, I can't make you think. I say all the time, I can make you feel, but I can't make you think. Right? So that being said, the best I can do, if you get mad at me for something I say, which seems to be happening a lot lately, you know, good. Then take that and at least think about what I said. I did my job. I made you feel. One way or another, I made you feel something. Now you can take those feelings and apply some brain to it. Think about it. The first question you ask yourself is, why am I reacting this way to what he said? And then go down rabbit holes. Keep asking why. Whether your reaction to what I say is negative, fuck you, Steve, chuck your phone against the wall, I'm going to find you, I'm going to slit your throat. I get you. Whether that's your reaction to what I say, or it's in the positive, oh, he's totally right, I love him, right? Whichever one it is, ask yourself, why am I reacting this way? And just keep asking why. Leave me out of it. I'm just a talking hand on a fucking video. You don't have to watch. It's fine. But I'm here to offer you a point of view. I'm a neutral observer, right? Especially with world stuff, I don't vote. I don't do any of that. It's not my role in this lifetime. I just make notes. I watch this, I watch that. I watch every news network, all of it, both sides. So I really get a good juxtaposition. This side over here, it's a horror show. This side over here, it's wonderful, right? I mean, it's well, Jesus Christ, that's a bit much, you know. But anyway, it is what it is. So again, take the readings with a grain of salt before you start jumping down my throat. All right? Just ask yourself why you're reacting that way. My job is to make you feel. As long as I do that, I'm doing my job as far as I'm concerned. Whether you watch or not is up to you, okay? If you are someone who's been here a while, I appreciate it. All right? Stick around. Things are getting interesting. We're living history right now. It's fun. The soulmate cycle is getting a little historic too. Your energy is about to be historic and very, very attractive. So use it, work it, have fun with it. But make sure you put up some blocks or people will suck you dry. I'm telling you right now. That is your reading. Good luck.